black market Ambien or anything like that. So it wasn't the kind of stuff that makes me go on Twitter and.
You ever tried that black market Ambien, dude?
No, I haven't.
That's
Dude,
something
great,
else. It's next level.
I've heard. Yeah. So
I've never tried it. I didn't even know there was a thing. I just
Those underground chemists don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Underground chemists and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I've read about all that. I've read about the kind of stuff that they peddle in Mexico too, man. Like the Xanax and shit like that. The imitation stuff is supposed to be like really dangerous too. But
that's mostly because they want to maximize profits, and so they'll put filler in it. They'll put some filler shit that just looks like white powder, and they'll just crush it up with a little bit of the real shit, make it like a full whole pill, and it's not. You're taking filler. So anytime you're running or you're taking something that's underground, you run the risk of your dealer wanting to increase his, cut his costs, increase his profit, and putting some dangerous filler, fake shit that potentially can kill you. Like,
yeah, we're good.
Like
You live?
fentanyl.
Yeah.
I'm gonna share it again.
Sorry about that, guys. I don't know what happened.
No, all good.
I think
Okay,
100%. It literally was, the thing was just like Facebook cut your feed, and I was like, what?
Were we playing music?
No.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
These
I've
guys
played
are-
music before, and they didn't cut me
These
off.
guys are telling the truth.
Yeah, like, hey
That's
man,
weird.
you guys are getting too close.
We got zucked. But we'll have. What was I gonna say? Yeah, man. So that was. That's always been like really interesting to me. We transferred. I mean, we changed the topic a lot. This time it was going from like.
What was it meant to be? Philosophy?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Just kidding,
I
some
had
of
I had a
We didn't
feeling
really
that it
say
would
anything
go
up,
this
but
way.
I put that it was going to be in philosophy. But you know what? Honestly, we haven't sat down and read as much as we were expecting to. So
Well, what do
but-
people
but-
want to hear?
no. I think this
Are you
is
on a poll,
no. It
maybe?
doesn't. It doesn't fucking matter. This is
Doesn't matter.
this. Yeah, this conversation is plenty cool.
Yeah.
I don't think we've had an
I wanted
actual.
to get into like Nietzsche a bit because I started reading Beyond Good and Evil. And
I haven't like brushed up on all that stuff yet.
Oh, okay,
So I
no.
kinda
But like,
wanna do-
it's cool because I haven't dove into the actual Beyond Good and Evil. Like, I was still reading like the introduction from the guy that translated the book, and then a foreword from like some other person and shit. And
Yeah,
they did like a pretty good job of just kind of like positioning, like understand Nietzsche's point
I
of view.
think one
No,
thing
that's cool.
that translations of like old books, they're becoming increasingly important because it's crazy how much English is changing in such a short amount of time, and it's crazy to think that like the language that they use in books like Nietzsche or like some middle-aged English type shit people used to actually use like commonly, and now we need fucking translators to redo entire texts in our current English. I don't
Yeah.
think what's it gonna be like when we're
And
100.
this translation was like from I think the 70s, maybe the 80s. The copy that I borrowed.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that's what the translator was saying in the preface or like in the introduction of it, where he was like, there's certain terms that, you know, he had to essentially dumb it down so it wouldn't be too fucking wordy, right? And I was like, damn, like I wish I knew German to read the original fucking copy of it, like just straight up.
Is there such thing as like old German? Sorry, I'm like.
I assume that it's probably, you know, changed as the times have progressed.
I believe dialects. I believe
Yeah.
that's what they're called. But yeah, it's essentially like versions of the language because it goes like evolving as people come up with new words. It's not like we're stuck to the confines. We create our language. It's not something natural.
It's like it's a living language. It's unlike Latin, which I wish I knew. It'd be cool.
So.
That was what I wanted to get into. I guess.
Go for it.
Yeah. So like the idea of the people that Nietzsche posed would or I don't know. He had weird points of view. The idea of like the free spirit or whatever, which he feels were the future generations that were gonna be like the philosophers of their time. You know, the free spirits or whatever.
What are we talking about?
Nietzsche.
I love Nietzsche.
Yeah. And I was saying that I haven't actually gotten into Beyond Good and Evil just yet. I was reading like all the bullshit that comes before, like the translator is saying all this shit and
Yeah.
kind of like framing the era around which he wrote that or what have you. And also going into like some of the ideas of who he posed would like supersede like the philosophical throne or what have you. But I don't know. It's like
Oh, he was
it's fucking crazy.
He was a new spectrum of philosophy. He himself says, "Who before me was the first psychologist?" He himself even claims that he was the first psychologist of all philosophers, and we wouldn't have anyone else. We wouldn't have the Freuds and the Jungs and the what's the other fucking dude's name? The other one, the one that wrote the Russian book.
Pavlov?
Marx.
No, not Marx.
Karl Marx.
No, dude, I don't know what.
Pavlov. No.
Him too, but the other one,
That's it.
Alexander
Hamilton?
Solzhenitsyn.
Sorry, something?
Yeah,
I forget
Alexander.
the fucking name.
You know what I'm talking about,
The
though.
Grant.
No. Alexander. I'm going back to the restroom.
I mean, I know Nietzsche claimed that, but do you think the rest of those guys knew that they were going to be as legendary in the moment?
I think, yeah. Well, that was one of the things that they were talking about was that it was, essentially in these times.
The guy who wrote the Gulag Archipelago. Who was that?
Alexei? No.
Is it Dostoevsky? No?
Dostoevsky.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, yeah, so the
Dostoevsky.
Brothers Karamazov, right?
Yeah,
It's
that guy.
Yeah. Dostoevsky.
Criminal
or some
Punishment.
stuff. Yeah.
Whatever.
Yeah.
That one?
Was that Dostoevsky?
What was I going to say? Yeah, so they had said at the time that that they were like the first thinkers, and that was it. Became the point where, you know what? I actually really like this whole like new like philosophy thing about what we're gonna do when automation takes over, right? The whole thing about deriving like meaning, and that humans have always found a way to derive meaning from something. So that was pretty cool that they basically were the first ones to claim to be like the ones that had enough time to just think, that it was their job to think, and they knew that was going to have some form of like impact on society. Now maybe to the scale that they have had impact and being taught in schools to this day, like I doubt it, but I don't know if they had that kind of like foresight or whatever, but.
What I was gonna ask? Do you have the same copy of Beyond Good and Evil that I borrowed?
No.
It's a different one.
It's a different one.
Is it
Mine's
the same
older.
translator?
Mine's older than yours.
Is it the same translator?
I
Do you know
think
who
so.
the translator is?
I think so. Because you mentioned it earlier, right?
Yeah, there's some of them that's like it says Beyond Good and Evil, and then it has like colon, like a principle of something or whatever,
Yeah.
and then it's like a different translator. Yeah, I
Right.
have one on my
curious.
phone.
So I'm curious to see, like, just
The best translation. I
Yeah.
want that one. Yeah. King
Google
James
it, dude.
version.
Which 5-star Beyond Good and Evil translation? No, but so he was kind of like the first one to pose the idea that that morals are all like relativistic, right? So that's the actual ability to philosophize or think freely is accepting first and foremost that like moral structures are subjective
Relative.
to, or yeah, exactly, relative
Or
to.
To the
To the individual. And
to
what
the
they've
to the
experienced.
archetype
Exactly.
to the archetypal character that you proclaim yourself to be.
Right.
And I think it was Kanye West who said, "We are never who we intend or invent."
Was it Kanye?
I think it was
Okay,
Kanye.
so what does that mean?
So we are never who we perceive ourselves to be, nor we are ever who we intend to be. And that kind of caught me in a time in my life where I started doing comedy again, which is when we started hanging out more, when I got to know both of you all more. And I started to detach myself from who I thought I was. And it kind of put me down a spiral because I had gone through the whole ego thing, building my ego up or relying a lot on the ego. I thought I was like a mysterious dude or whatever. And we all go through that in our own way. Obviously, it's relative to the self. And that put me into a mental hospital. Going
Like
deep.
the destruction of your ego, or just
the
completely going into
the awareness that I had to destroy my ego, and the madness that came from bringing my true self to light and having to deal with who I really am inside, and the weight of my loss of faith, which had left like 5 years ago, was still weighing heavy on my shoulders because I still haven't been able to situate some sort of hope or positive way of thinking that would reinforce my happiness. And I say that in quotations. But so that threw me all the way into a mental institution in McAllen. Was Edinburgh?
I picked you up. Yes, I remember.
Edinburgh. What's it called?
Edinburgh Regional.
Yeah,
Edinburgh
regional.
Regional Behavioral Hospital.
Yeah, my uncle used to work at the radiology at the children's hospital right next to it.
Mm.
I still remember when you came out of it. Like, I went to go pick you up. I signed you out. And then on the drive home, you were so appreciative of everything around. Like, you were
Was
looking
I?
at the trees and the sun. You were just glad to be there, man.
The green looked different, and the blue looked different. I was trying to look out the window. There was nothing there, dude. It was terrifying. And it was good because I was able to get some perspective on myself by watching the people around me. And people were talking about themselves and what they claimed to be their morals. And it's funny what you mentioned, without me even bringing it up, that morality is relative to your own archetype or who you think you are. And
Were there any notable ones? Any notable people you...
there was this gay guy who was kind of like, those people that were, that whole theory that people are born gay. Everyone is born with the probability to be gay and do gay things, like actions. And then there's men that are just more feminine. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a difference.
Yeah.
But this guy came off as one of those kids that was gay because he probably got raped when he was younger. And I could tell, like, I don't know enough gay people to be able to say the difference between them, but he kind of gave me that vibe. Like, I felt like this guy got raped when he was younger. I don't know how to explain it, but that's just the vibe I got from him. And he told me, he's like, "Hey, Mario, you look pissed." And I did look pissed. I mean, I was pissed. I was pissed being there because my doctor had a social worker come see me because I started telling him, like, sometimes I get suicidal. Sometimes I have thoughts. I plan to kill myself. Stuff like that. And the social worker came in and she's like, "Hey, well, you're going to have to go to the behavioral hospital. If not, you're going to go to Laredo border region. And she says, "Oh, border region sucks," and all this shit. And I was like, I was kind of getting the vibe that I started feeling like a paycheck for her. She was trying to talk me into going to that hospital. And I felt it. Like, you look like you're being a little bit condescending. And I brought that to her awareness. I'm like, I started asking her questions like, "Hey, what do you think about those 5 major personality traits?" Just to see how deep she knew about psychology. And I don't know anything about psychology. I've never had a class in psychology, but I watch clips on YouTube enough to know, or I know myself enough
some
to
fucking basic shit.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know myself enough to know when someone else is being full of shit, because I've in life been full of shit. So I started paying attention to her and what she was saying, and everything she was saying sounded like she said it before. And
Like a script?
yeah, it was very scripted. And I remember my mom walking in, and she brought up how her brother died suicide. So she started doing this, and she mentioned, "I'd rather my brother would have gone through the hospital than seen him dead." And that hurt my mom a lot because my mother's brother was killed. And I know that cloud comes over her every once in a while. So that kind of boosted her to want me to go, because she didn't want, and my sister was there as well. And my sister's very warm-hearted, and she always wants me to be okay. Obviously, she's my sister. So seeing their face with the need of me having to go, like I saw the need of myself needing to go through their eyes, and I was like, okay, so my mom and my sister are crying, I should probably go. And I went. There was that one gay dude. Going back to the gay dude. There's that one gay dude. I'm barely speaking to this now. And no one's ever asked me how it was with the people I was with. They asked me how it looked like and all that stuff. It wasn't white, soft rooms. It was like a little hospital, and there was rooms, and I could talk to people. I remember I was upset, and I asked, "Hey, can I go outside to the courtyard and just shadow box?" Because at that time I was going to the Muay Thai a lot. And they're like, "Yeah, just go ahead. Are you mad?" I'm like, "No, I just need to exercise," because at that time I had been exercising every day. and exercising was a good way for me to alleviate myself of the stress. So I went outside, started shadowboxing. I got all sweaty, came back inside, and that gay dude was like, "Hey, I saw you moving around out there," and I was like, "Oh, still out there, like." I mean, you're messing around, but I don't know how. We're in a mental hospital. I don't know how far your intentions or what's coming to mind. And they started fucking with me. It's like, "Hey, Mario, you look mad. I'm gonna have to put you to sleep." He started telling me shit like that. Like, even though he was messing around, I took it as a challenge. Because when I'm defensive around strangers. Obviously, we all are. Two, I'm in a mental hospital, and I know you're gay. So if you touch me, I'm fucking you up. And I saw through him how perverse a person can be. And I know that guy was sick for real. As I'm sick too. We all are sick in a relative way. But I knew that I couldn't be like him. Not that he was gay, but that he was perverted. And that was one archetype that I became aware of, not being perverted. And
in those, like, don't allow yourself to be
to let go and to be the beast.
Traumatized was it that you're like you become sick in the mind.
Yeah, because I got
evil.
I got sexually. I didn't get raped, but okay, yeah, but it was by a girl, and it wasn't like forced rape. It was I was young and she was way older than me, so statutory rape, yeah. And it was kind of. Was there a lot of people watching right now? It was weird.
Yeah, there's like about 1,000.
Oh, okay.
It's like 4.
That's cool, man.
There was a question, but I'll interject at a proper time.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So through that, I knew what it is for someone to be vulnerable, and that kind of came to light, my vulnerability, when that guy was giving me those comments. And I told myself in that moment, I should never allow myself to be that way, you know. And Nietzsche says, and I know I went to that point. I ended up in the hospital because I wanted to take care of what was wrong with me. And you know Nietzsche's quote that says, "He who looks into the abyss, or who he fights monsters, should be aware that he himself did not become a monster."
Right. Yeah. Right.
And I immediately became aware that, I'm trying to fight these monsters inside me, that I myself am becoming a monster, and here I am in the place where monsters are, where this perverted guy is. Or there was another guy who was just being aggressive the whole time. He was trying to mad dog me. And I'm very confrontational, but I know when and when not to be violent, you know?
That seems like a really difficult environment to work on yourself, man. Like,
No,
was it always like that? Were you always under that like pressure, or
in my head?
Okay.
I was, but the whole time I was there, I was trying to make people laugh. I even told you that I did 5 minutes in front of all those people.
Right,
dude, they were hollering. I did the poetry slam joke. I did the.
How long ago was this, by the way?
How long ago was this? This was
this was back in probably I would say
May of last year.
Yeah,
Oh no shit! It was that recent.
Yeah, dude.
2019?
Oh yeah, I had
2019?
just gotten
Okay.
my job, like the job I'm currently at. Yeah, it
You had
was
just
around there.
finished your semester.
Yeah, and I remember on the drive home I said, "Oh hey, I just got this job."
Yeah, you were
okay,
talking
yeah,
about it.
it was around May.
So,
Sorry, continue.
I became aware of the whole not being perverted like the dude that was there, and then not being aggressive like the guy that was there. And like I said, I'm not an aggressive person unless I feel like I should be aggressive. And that guy was trying to mad dog me the whole time. I guess that was only after he saw me shadow boxing outside. And I do that for myself, dude, you know?
Yeah, you're not out here trying to like display.
No, I'm not trying to
dominance.
flex. 'Cause
You're just, like,
if I wanted to like do something to someone, I'll just do it. I wouldn't say anything. I wouldn't mad dog. I would just go do it. You don't have to.
just go up there. And
I don't
punch
have to
someone in the throat,
fucking
right?
warn you about something I'm gonna do to you.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
Like
not.
if you really want to hurt someone, you just
I'm
do
just
it.
gonna do it. I'm not gonna like mad dog you like, hey, I'm gonna kick your ass. No, I'm just gonna do it, right? And I'm not that person unless I have to be. Obviously, like, everyone has to be at some point in their life. I learned that, and then there was a girl who was talking about how she has sex with a lot of men, even though she's married, and that kind of weighed in. Not so much of the perverse, but the loyalty to people. And I was dating this girl who is now my baby mama. We weren't dating, but we were having sexual relations at that time.
Yeah, we're fucking.
You be fucking.
A bit of that cash.
Yeah, and that kind of brought that perspective to me, and I came to respect my the way I felt towards her a lot more in that moment, and just I saw different archetypes of myself there, and through their through their sickness, I saw what my morals were, and where I should reinforce my own morality. And since then, I haven't been suicidal since then.
That's good, dude.
Yeah. And anyone who is suicidal, like for real, not just tweeting about it or whatever, everyone who really is suicidal, I recommend you go to one of those hospitals just to get some perspective on it and learn about yourself. Because I learned about myself a lot actually, and it was a good experience, just as much as it was a bad one.
What are your thoughts on? Because a lot of people, they say that, like, I can't be truly honest with my therapist or anything like that, because the moment I say I'm suicidal, they're gonna put me in a fucking mental
That's
ward.
exactly. And Louis C.K.
What
has
are your- what
Louis
are-
C.K. has one of my
what are
favorite
your
jokes
thoughts on
ever
that?
is Louis C.K. saying, your therapist says, "Have you had thoughts?" And Louis says, "Well, no, because if you do, you're gonna press a button and folks will come in here and just hold them down." And that's how I felt when I was with my doctor. Yeah, not being completely honest with your therapist is not being completely honest with yourself. That's exactly what that is.
And do you think it's correct that the
You
moment
should
say they like
you
throw
should you should fear more what you are capable of doing to yourself than what they are capable of doing to you. There's nothing scarier than yourself. I am more scared of myself than I'm scared of anybody else. And that's the true thing, because I don't ever want to put myself in this. Just the other day at the mic drop, some guy took a picture of me. And one of my biggest pet peeves is someone taking a picture of me, even though I'm on stage. I just don't like it. I hate it. I don't know why. I went up to him and I said, "Hey, you taking videos and pictures of me?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, bro, just to send it to a friend who knows you and this and that." I was like, "Oh, Simon." And then that friend texted me, was like, "Hey, chill the fuck out, dude. Like, you went up to my friend all aggressive." I was like, "Oh damn, I did go up to your friend all aggressive." And I immediately remembered being at the hospital and telling myself, "Hey, dude, chill out, because if you start getting aggressive for no reason, you're gonna end up fucking knocking this. Like, you're gonna end up hurting this guy."
You had to vibe check yourself, dude.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah, they say when, and I don't mean to like cut the story up, but Josh was the one that kind of sent me off on this thing too, because I had gotten to the point where I was going through a breakup. Two, it was the anniversary of my dad's deportation. There was a lot of other shit that was going on at the time too, and at the mic drop, we had specials on Murdude, which is a very potent beer. It's a what is it, stout, whatever.
It's like a 7% beer. It's like a 7 or 8% beer.
It's 12, dude.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, it's
never
a fucking
mind.
12.
12%.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're drinking wine at that point.
So
bro.
I was doing that, whatever, and it was like $3 for like a fucking nice like can, whatever, and I was like on my fifth one, and I remember going towards the break, and I was like, "All right, everybody, we're going to the break," that's that, whatever, and it went out.
So someone's asking if mental illness
Is hereditary.
are hereditary. So the last thing I did there at the hospital was speak to the head psychiatrist, and he asked me. I actually requested to talk to him, and I said, "Hey, while I've been here, I haven't talked to any therapist, I haven't talked to any counselors, no psychotherapist, nobody. You're actually the first professional I talked to. Everyone before you has been nurses or people who just got the 4-year degree." And he says, "You seem to be very aware of your situation and yourself. Has there been anyone in your family that has gone to a mental institution?" I was like, "Not that I know of. There are depressed people in my family. I have an uncle who's depressed, and I've noticed it in him. And but I don't think he's ever been into a mental institution like this." And to answer your question, Nichols, yeah, mental illness is hereditary.
100%.
100%. Not only is it hereditary, it is a personality trait in a lot of people. So of those big 5 personality traits, one of them being neuroticism, and one of the symptoms of neuroticism is having anxiety or having depression. So if you have depression or you have some sort of anxiety or you feel anxious at times, and I hate the word anxiety because I hate when people label themselves as that because I feel like they just trying to have people feel bad for them, and a lot of them I know for a fact. Other people I do know, like, you don't know what it is to really be depressed, man. You don't have to. I'm not gonna ever feel. An idiot will feel sorry for you, but a real person, I don't feel sad for people, feel bad for people who are depressed because I myself am, at times, because I do suffer from neuroticism. Now we do have ways to combat neuroticism, and one of them being is exercise. Especially if you're high in openness and you're a creative type, martial arts is very good. And you're applying exercise to an art, which feeds that creative part of you and that open part of you. And two, that exercise is combating the neuroticism. And the way, and I'm being very pseudo-intellectual about it because I'm really not a neurologist and I'm really not a psychologist or psychiatrist. I've never taken any of those classes. This is research I've done to help myself because at the end of the day, no one is going to come save you. Nobody's going to save you. And all those people who thought were going to save you, they let you down. And everyone listening to this and everyone who's going to listen to this have gone through that or will go through that in life. And just to be frank, be honest, no one is going to save you but yourself. And the best thing you can do is do research on the symptoms you feel and the why you feel those things and the way you feel those things. Because you're the only one that could help yourself. And I hope if this applies to you, I hope you never have to go to a mental hospital. But if you do, that's just as far as you had to go because you were that not sick but worried about yourself. So it's not a bad thing. And going back to it, the reason exercise is good for people that are neurotic is so neuroticism. Now actually trying to make this into a joke without trying to make it sound like a lecture. So neuroticism is a person basically chiflado. Neuroticism is suffering without having reasons to really suffer, real suffering. You get me? You ever go, I don't know who on this table is depressed or is a neurotic person, but I'll ask you, Roger, because I know you went through something heavy with your mom. I saw how well, and maybe behind closed doors is different, but in front of all of us, you dealt with it strong. You could tell that you were strong. And that's probably because you yourself have experience with feeling sad. Yeah. Or have experience with feeling less for yourself. So neuroticism is good because when we are going through something that's real, a real suffering, we know how to take care of ourselves. Or at least we're better at it than the average person. Notice how a person who isn't depressed, a person who we see and we're like, I wish I was as happy as this person. Well, I wish I was as unaware of this person. When something really bad happens, those are the people that are broken for real. You who live through this depression and you're able to combat it easily because you know what it is to have that battle inside of you every single day.
Like I was, and
I saw it in you during that time.
What I was saying, like that time, it was that night, and I say it because it's like it was really like a time of like awareness for me. Was that I got drunk and I had been already staying away from drinking. Like I wanted to kind of pace myself because I know I was kind of using it as a mechanism at the time. Yeah. So I got drunk and woke up in a clinic.
Oh wow!
Yeah, and that whole thing, like waking up in a clinic, was weird. And I had a friend there with me who had found me, picked me up, took me there, whatever way. And she had told me, my friend who picked me up, or whatever, that I had been saying some really weird stuff, and that she thinks that I need some help. And I was like, really grateful that she told me that. But the reason I was saying that, Josh says to me, is that he was the one who was like, hey man, you're throwing the vibe off really fucking hard in there, dude. Like all that shit in there is you. And I was like, whatever, man. And I was like smoking a cigarette and just like pretending, but it did like echoed in my head. Afterwards I head home, and after all this stuff had happened or whatever, she did me the favor of not telling like the people they just brought me in. They treated me for alcohol poisoning. I was out in the morning,
Vámonos.
and when I got home, I realized once I was like cleaning up my car because it was a fucking mess because I had like basically puked all over myself. Like it was, I saw like little pills in there, and I was like, where the fuck did I get pills from? And I started looking around in my car, or whatever, and I found what was a bottle of sleeping pills that I had and kept with me, and I had planned to just boom and
Vámonos.
call it.
Yeah.
And apparently I had puked it out, right? Because I throw up when I'm like bad drunk, whatever.
That's good.
And I puked it out, whatever. And then the next day after that, I told Josh, I'd messaged him and I was like, hey man, I'm gonna be taking some time or whatever. I needed some help. And apparently I had tried to hurt myself last night, which obviously wasn't conscious because I didn't fucking remember what was going on. Like I don't remember anything during that time. So I went the next day and I talked to my parents. And we went and we had lunch. Everything was nice. And then they were like, what's going on? And I was like, well, I came here to talk to you guys because I wanted to tell you something. I tried to hurt myself last night and I want to, I'm here to see a therapist.
Okay.
And so I went and I started addressing it that way, and then that was that. I didn't really know that, and then, you know what? To this day, the most recent thing, I've been doing work with Laredo Immigrant Alliance, and like I mentioned here plenty of times before, my dad was deported about 1.5 years ago. I hadn't been one of my jobs now, which is kind of I just started about 1.5 months ago. One of my jobs now is to go to these detention centers. To speak with people who are currently in detention. And I do things like that. So we check on their condition, their living condition, all that kind of stuff, see how they're doing basically, and take down information about what kind of resources they might need, whatever, right? Yeah. And it's just a social thing, really. It's a social thing. It's people need people to talk to. I'm going and I'm talking to them. That's about that. We did a tour to see the whole facility, and that was as a group. And when we did that, I thought nothing of it. They kept asking me, Roger, you've been inside of this before. The last time that you were here was when your dad was locked up. This is going to be a heavy visit. Are you sure you want to be a part of it? And I was like, I fucking work here. Like, let me go. I'm fine. I'm strong. Like, I've already dealt with the worst. He's already across and banned from the U.S. for 10 months. I mean, for 10 years. So I've dealt with the worst, right? So I went. I got in there, so did the whole thing. Everything was fine. They wanted to sit down and debrief afterwards, and I was like, actually, I got to pick up my girlfriend. And I have to take her to a thing, whatever, and I'm her only ride right now, so I've got to take off. I didn't expect for it to last this long. They were like, oh, okay, no problem. We'll see you later on tonight because we were going to have another, like, let's say, basically a training and debriefing session that night. I left, dude, and as soon as I left, immediately, cigarettes, dude. Chain smoking like a motherfucker. I was freaking out. My heart was, like, just pounding and racing. And I went home, and this was maybe, like 3 weeks ago. And since then, that's that kind of, like, leftover, like, residual, like, depression that I've been, like, dealing with not being able to sleep, that kind of stuff. And when I talked to somebody about it, finally, because I kind of was just in denial that, like, you know what, it's just like I'm having trouble sleeping. That's all it is.
It's just days like these.
Yeah, it's just days like this. It's whatever, right? I talked to someone finally, and they were like, you're having what's essentially a secondhand trauma, and it's linked to your first. You don't know, or you may not think about it that much, but you might have been traumatized over your dad getting deported. And even though you're a strong individual and you're there for your parents and this and that, it's still a really heavy thing to go through emotionally. Yeah. And you literally just went and exposed yourself back in the same area that you were at, when the last time that you were there was, that you're before your dad was deported. And I was like, fuck, you're right.
It's crazy what lingers in the subconscious.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's crazy. There's a lot of in all of us, dude, there's a lot of things that linger, and if we're not careful, if we don't take care of our mentals, like we take care of our social standing, then social standing will never matter, and you'll probably just end up killing yourself.
And that what you said earlier of I'm more scared of myself than anyone else. That's quite true. Because
Yeah, that's
you
why
can
I
do
left.
some real
That's why I left the
horrible
mic
shit to
drop.
yourself.
Cause I was looking at that guy while I was standing next to Franny.
Oh, so that's why you took off.
That's why I took
I was
off.
wondering. Okay.
I took off. I was looking at it and I was just like,
Who was he?
"There's a guy wearing the mask." He took a picture of me.
I don't remember.
The fucking guy in the front
China
row.
mask, dude.
The beach
Oh, yeah,
surgeon
that
mask.
guy.
That guy.
The
And I was in the back just
video artist?
just
That was a good one.
just like calentándome más y más y más. And I'm like,
Should have told me, dude. I would have kicked him out.
I was like, dude, just turn around, bro. Just look at me. Just look at me.
I-
You know,
yeah.
and it was wrong. I was so wrong of me to do that.
The whole time I thought you were like, fuck, my set sucked or something. Like,
No.
'cause I noticed that you
He
were
didn't
like
go
off.
up. You didn't go up. Did
He
you?
did
I
go
did
up.
go up.
Oh,
He
that's
went up
right. You did.
before
That's right.
me.
Yeah,
Fucking
yeah.
bombed, bro.
You did 3 minutes of shit.
I did 3
remember
minutes of
that.
just
Yeah.
diarrhea. And
That's why I thought like
I
you
was
were like tripping.
at that moment. I was like, bro, I'm not.
Did that fuck you up? Like, did that you saw it and then
no.
or there was
I found that after. I got the picture from my friend and I saw it. Like, who took that picture? Where'd you get it from? I don't know. It's something. It's like when someone burps around me while I'm in the car. Like
No,
when
I hate pictures myself.
when,
Like,
when someone. Yeah, it's just like don't. Why did you do that? The rules say
The vampire?
The rules say don't take video or whatever
Unless
unless,
they
you
let you-
talk to
yeah.
the fucking comic.
Yeah.
Like I don't care what. That's the rules, dog. If you know.
you should have told me. I would have fucking kicked him out and made
No,
him delete it.
no, I
Like,
know.
it's not-
I know. There's always something else you should do. I made the
Yeah.
wrong decision in confronting him and being overly aggressive the way I was. Cause I knew I was overly aggressive. The way
I
I
remember
came
this one time. There was a dude who was like really pissed off because he was heckling, and then Fred was like, oh, it was the same night as the bullshit that went down with the chicks, man. So he was heckling, and then Fred was like, hey, shut the fuck up, you look like a lipstick lesbian or some shit like that. And he got really pissed off about that and kept saying stuff, and somebody like shut him up or whatever, right? And he
Is
goes,
that the guy that Nando slapped?
no, it's
that
another
guy.
dude.
Oh,
So then
okay.
this guy, Fred goes, what does he say to him? He says like, oh, like whatever, right? He turns around. The guy who Fred was talking to turns around, facing the bar, and tells the girl that he's with, "I'm gonna kick that guy's fucking ass as soon as we get done with it. As
said
soon as
that
this
to
shit
him?
ends." He was saying that to a girl, right? And
Who was
so-
saying that to a girl?
The guy
I
that was
don't- I
heckler.
don't know the
The
guy.
heckler.
I didn't know the guy. It
Oh,
was
the heckler told the girl that he
heckler
was
told
gonna
the
kick
girl-
Fred's
yeah, he
ass.
was
Yeah.
gonna kick Fred's ass. And then I go, hey. I like snapped at him, and then he turns around, and he looks at me, and I'm like, no, you're fucking not. And then he just stayed there, and he was like, and he turned back around, and then afterwards he tried confronting me in the fucking parking lot, and I was like, I was leaving, had the clipboard or whatever, right? And he goes, he turns.
Who was it?
I don't fucking know, dude. I've
Is
never
he-
seen
has
the
he
guy.
gone back?
He wasn't a regular. Like, it wasn't a regular dude. Like, it was the first time I'd seen him. It was the night of
I wasn't there for
the
this.
last mic drop of the year. That's when it was, dude. It was when the whole feminist thing happened.
Oh,
It was a feminist. It was gay. Because I
Okay.
quoted the Bible.
Oh, that's right.
And they got mad because I quoted the Bible. Like, I didn't
Yeah,
even
yeah.
write it. I just fucking read it,
I
dog.
remember. So that day,
Fuck, I
whatever,
wish I
we
was
were
there
in the
for that.
parking lot. We were taking off, and then this girl, this dude comes up to me, and he goes, hey, who the fuck are you to be snapping at me? And I was like, I run this shit. You're lucky I didn't fucking kick you out, right? And then he just stayed looking at me, and I was like, show's over. Get in your fucking car and leave. And he was, oh, bro, you're acting real fucking tough. I was like, dude, I'm like 3 times your size. Like, regardless of however fucking tough you think you are, man. Like, I'm not
Oh,
here.
thank God I wasn't
And-
there. I would have
uh,
just challenged him. I'm like, show this, like right now, let's go. Like,
I'm ready.
I told him, I was like, yo, I'm with my girlfriend. We have plans. Get the fuck out of my face. And
Yeah.
he was just kind of like, oh,
was he with the girl?
all right, yeah. No, the chick was right there standing. And
That's why he was probably doing it
yeah,
because of
he
the
was, like,
girl.
saying that he was-
Oh
he
my
was
God,
like-
I've always wanted to be in that.
And-
I've
and-
always wanted to be in that position, so I could
In
beat
Roger's
the
position?
fuck out of that
Like,
guy
alright,
in
fuck
front
it.
of his girl. Just
Oh,
beat
that's
the
hilarious.
fuck out of the guy.
No, dude, because that's the thing. I don't have the privilege to do that, though, because if I were to do that, I'd probably get in trouble with the venue, and I don't want to put the fucking mic
Yeah.
at risk. Or
So
whatever.
Yeah.
that one
But-
time, remember I mentioned on the chat that this one comic that we all know said something about my girlfriend.
I don't-
Perlata. When
Oh, okay.
Perlata said a
Perlata.
joke. He's like, oh my girl, like, oh,
Right, right.
Because I was sitting down, he sat next to me, like, oh, my girlfriend's sitting here. Oh, she can sit on my lap.
Oh, he
Yeah.
said that?
Yeah, he said that. He said
Whose
that.
joke was that? No, just kidding. Just kidding.
He said
That's
that, and I was like, I looked at him like, he's like, oh, I'm just kidding. I'm like,
Wait, oh shit! So he wasn't on stage when he said that.
No, he was
just,
sitting
that's
next to me.
even
Like,
worse, dude.
dude, I was
Terrible.
like, dude, my elbow is right here. Your face is right there. Like, if I was I'm trying to get into the firefighters, so I can't have anything on my record. I'm already cleaning the stuff I had on my record and my tickets. And like, I don't want to get banned from Cultura because it's badass.
Yeah.
And I don't get banned from the mic drops because that's badass.
Yeah.
You know? And but that's not worth it. And the comment like that isn't worth it.
Mhm.
And I even said it in the chat. Like, it took everything inside me not to, like...
Were you
don't
like?
remember
Were you
that.
at a
I don't
9?
re- I
I don't
don't
remember that. Were you at a 9? Like right there with just that comment?
No,
You were
I
like,
wasn't
fuck.
at 9. A 9? Nah, 9's already like assaulting somebody, dude.
Oh, okay. Right.
No,
That's
no,
intense
and I
killings over
looked
there.
at him and I was like, dude, I was like, yeah,
You
man.
just imagine from the you could sit on my lap.
Yeah, dude.
Dude, this guy, so just Isaac, so you know, it's just, we're talking a bunch of like comedy stuff that's been that like we
Oh,
all
hold on.
stuff.
I'm gonna just say it.
Okay.
You remember Tom Segura word for word?
This,
That's this guy.
What?
Tom Segura
Oh.
word for word.
yeah,
My
that
cousin
was-
who stole
I remember you
Tom
mentioned
Segura
it,
word
yeah.
for word.
Oh,
That's it.
We're in the presence of
oh,
the.
dude, we talked so much shit about you a couple days ago.
Nah,
It wasn't like that.
It was.
We were
this is-
using for a reference
Tell 'em
because
what happened.
a local comedian. I'm not gonna say his name because it's been you know the
And
yeah.
look, this is the
Alright.
thing. Look, whatever. Let me
The
just.
local-
I'm not gonna say it. The local comic stole a joke, or several jokes.
Several.
He stole several jokes, and he wasn't fessing up to it. He wasn't accepting it. And I said, dude, my cousin at the time was 17, 18 years old, stole someone's jokes, and he fessed up to it. And I know he feels shitty about it, and he said it, and it was honest. He's 17. You're like twice his age, and you can't fucking accept that you did wrong.
I don't want to show my face anywhere after, like the day after, like the whole week.
When
after.
was this? How long ago was it?
Dude,
That
this
was
is
like
when
my
when we
first-
started when I started comedy. He
Or
was,
was it at Cold Brew?
no, bro. This was it was
Classic Tavern?
Organic Coffee
Oh,
Man
no,
downtown.
I wasn't even around that.
You weren't
but
even around
yeah,
at that
yeah.
time. Franny wasn't even around at that time.
Yeah, Franny started at Organic Man, though. But that's crazy. Yeah, so the point was about this thing is that we went and
I
we
used
we,
you an example.
We confronted him, or not confronted. We told him like, "Hey, man, look, we're telling you this because it's the quickest fucking way to get burned as a comedian." And another thing is that you're profiting off of someone else's shit. 'Cause he's booked
you
shows.
did at an open mic, like whatever, right?
Yeah,
There's like
he's
10
booked,
people there.
He's booked shows out of town using these things. He's gotten paid
Paid spots, yeah.
paid spots using this shit. So it's like we were like, dude, like what the fuck, right? And the worst part was that like, hey man, and if you're watching this or saying it out of love, it's like you need to have some form of accountability and complete like just going back and saying, hey man, I took it out, that's it. Like I'm not gonna use it anymore. I took it out, that's it. But it was like, why did it have to come after like the reprimand? And why did it have to come after like we brought it to your attention and shit like that? Where was the fucking apology too, man? Like it's just like you're knowingly in bad. And then
And that's where I use you as an example. My young cousin, who was like 17 at the time, had the balls to be like, I fucked up. And he even stopped performing here in Laredo for a while because of all that shit.
What bit did you do? What?
He
I
did.
did the one about
I want to know. Yeah.
God damn it.
You did the.
I'll see. It's like San Francisco. I don't want to do it again.
Do it.
Dude.
You're not a comedian.
Yeah,
It's
you're
fine.
just telling us the joke that you told.
Yeah.
Like it's fine. It's,
Yeah.
Or it's the one about
Is it from Mostly Stories?
It's one where he goes, he's making fun of some dude, and he goes, San Francisco sure is a pretty city. Yeah, I'll see you there in 6 months. When you get there on your fucking horse.
yeah. I remember that.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he also did the one where he's wearing like a hat or something.
I'll tell you what. or
I'll
what?
tell you what.
Ah,
He
damn.
even made the same fucking accent as him.
It's funny.
I was like, dude, that's fucking Tom
Look,
Segura.
I did that. I'll own up to it, and it was wrong. I realized that.
It's like so that right
Sorry.
there, like that.
But-
you're
Yeah,
apologizing for it now.
We're not gonna
For-
catch you for that.
imagine-
Okay, and we're not
imagine
even
this.
saying it. Okay, the reason I brought it up to them was because Robert didn't do that.
Oh, you said his name. All right, so
And
Oh God, is he listening?
Probably, but he understands.
Well,
I'm sure he understands. We're putting it behind us. The point is that we address it or whatever. But the main thing of it was that like right now, what you just did was more of an apology than anything else. And when we were like addressing it to him, his thing was, dude, it was parallel thing. I'm also doing online dating. And we're like, dude, it was word for fucking word, dude. You have to be in like the same inflection and everything too, right? Like the odds of that happening, fucking
like imagine you being like, oh, sorry, it's because I was just thinking the exact same thing.
I remember him telling me I did it because bands cover other bands' songs. He did it because I could do that comic. That was his like intention. Wasn't to be like getting like he went in there with pure heart. Just trying to make
you didn't go up there like I wrote.
It was my very first open mic.
Yeah.
Did they shit on you? Did they shit on you?
No. Aaron was very nice. He took me out. He said, "Hey, can I talk to you?" And I went, "Yeah, all right." So we went outside. Hey, man, you did Tom Segura word for word in there. I know it. And look, I'm not trying to be a dick here, but this is possibly the nicest. I'm actually being real nice about it right now, because if you did that in our club, they would have taken you off the stage first minute in, like 1 minute in, they would have taken you off the stage, and kicked you the fuck out, and probably told you off. So Aaron was very nice about it.
He was,
and I've always said that he's been a good dude. So
I see what was wrong with that. And it's something I look back on and I cringe every time.
It's pretty funny, honestly.
It is pretty funny.
It's fucking hilarious to me.
I won't do that again.
It's okay, man. Don't worry.
We're not. I only ever brought it up to them to give them the example that he didn't do it. He didn't
own up to it like you did.
Like you did.
He was literally saying like, dude, I'm also doing online dating. Like, fuck off, man.
I also
just say, hey.
Just want to address one more thing. I also
hate the show. Walks out.
No, one time.
Sasuke, fuck your show.
One time I did another open mic. And Fred. No.
Don't incriminate yourself.
No. Fred. You know Fred?
Yeah, I know Fred. Yeah.
I referenced this joke.
It wasn't Fred. It was Steve.
Oh, sorry, Steve.
He's watching.
Steve.
So is Aaron.
Son of a bitch.
Aaron just tuned in
I referenced Steve's joke. He got really upset. I see it now. Well, how did I see it now? I fucked up.
I like how apologetic you're being about it.
I get why it's wrong. I talked some shit after that show.
Oh, you did? You went on Facebook.
Yeah.
And everyone told him off.
And
I remember that.
I just apologized. And
wait, so what happened? So you told one of Steve's
jokes. Can I say it?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll say it. This is what happened. Steve was hosting the open mic at the Cold Brew. No, I'm sorry. At the Classic Tavern.
I heard about this.
Yeah, he was at the Classic Tavern. Steve says a joke, and Isaac says, "Oh, he blah blah blah," like Steve's joke, blah 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 blah, right? And Isaac actually did really bad that open mic for whatever.
The whole shit. So it was shit, but.
And then Steve goes on and he says, "I don't know why he would be using someone else's joke." But he said,
they hate that shit.
Oh, yeah.
I understand.
Yeah, I understand them too. And then hold on. And then Isaac goes up to Steve. He's like, "What the fuck, man?" Like, ugh. And so Steve was like, "Whatever, man. Hold on." And then I was like, "Hey, just chill." Because in my head, I was like, "Isaac, you're my little cousin." I didn't tell him in that moment, but you kind of fucked up for even mentioning Steve's joke. And then we finished, right? Me, Isaac, and Eric went outside when it ended, and then Steve came outside. "Hey, Isaac, before you go," and then they had the conversation. And this guy put his walls up super quick, and Steve was also trying to put his peace of mind in, and it was never ever a tense we're gonna fight thing at all. It was just them two disagreeing on it, and I totally understand Steve's side of it. And I also understand his intention was not to rip off Steve's joke, but I also know why Steve would get upset.
Right.
So he didn't do right, and he got butthurt because of the way Steve called him out right after the guy got off the stage. That's why he got upset. So it was just miscommunication. But I know for a fact he shouldn't have stated anything to do with.
I won't ever. I've learned. I won't ever mention another comics material in mine because it's just not mine. Don't ever use anybody's stuff that's not yours. It's just not yours. So don't even bring it up. It's not even your place. It's not gonna be funny.
I think I called you out on that while we were driving.
So you posted that? Is that what you did?
No, I posted shit where it's like,
Dude, he talked shit on Facebook, and I was like,
Steve.
dude,
I said, if I do wrong,
direct me directly.
Directly tell me about it. Don't
chastise you or something, or what?
Don't call him out on stage.
Oh.
don't chastise me. Just just tell me I did wrong. I was just fucking dumb. I'm just gonna say I was.
He was young, dude, because I was 20 when I started doing comedy.
Yeah,
You were like what, 18, 17, 18?
Dude.
Anyway,
No,
I'm dumb. I won't ever mention another comics material, and I just if it's not purely mine, I'm sorry. I won't. I just learned not to do that anymore.
Are you still doing comedy?
No, I actually haven't performed. I kind of just stopped after the incidents that definitely have told me like.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
He performed at Tina Del Rey and all that shit.
But I've stopped.
Wait, what? For real?
Yeah, that's where he would do those open mics and all that good
Oh,
stuff.
the open mics over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
cool.
I kind of stopped going. I don't know. I just don't feel.
Because
I think I fucked up so many times. I just almost in my mind, it's like I'm not even fucking worthy to be up
No,
there.
so check this out, dude.
I don't think I'm even welcome anymore.
So there was one time, and here's the thing, because there's two different approaches to the way this happens, right? And I'll tell you both, because there was one with the person that we were talking
Steve
about.
watching? Steve was watching?
I don't know. Steve,
Aaron is.
Steve and Aaron. They might. If you are, it's cool. We're not talking shit about anybody, really.
I'm talking
But-
shit about you
No. So
right now.
Hey, Aaron.
So check it out.
Hey, Aaron.
So there was the person that we were just discussing, right? And then there was this one time at Cold Brew, which is the one that Laredo Funny runs. It's Steve's thing, right? I had gone up there and I had like a fucking killer set, dude. Like it was like one of my best sets at an open mic there at
It was
Cold
alright,
Brew.
it was alright.
So you never fucking went to
I
any of
know,
those
I'm kidding.
shits too. So I had a great fucking set. This new guy comes up. I think his name was like Jesse or something like that. And it was like his second time being there, and he showed up the second time because the first
At Cold
time
Brew?
at Cold Brew.
Was it when he was with his girlfriend performed also?
Yes.
And then Fred told him, I'm going to kick your ass, and he never
Yes.
showed up again?
Yes,
Dude, I remember that shit.
So all right, so let me tell this shit. So that he goes up there and he goes, "Oh, we're talking about Roger. Like, yeah, dude, Roger said this, this, and this." And then he's fucking like, "Yeah, I thought that was funny, but like I was also thinking about this off of his joke, but he then said this, this, and this." He was literally like using my material, deconstructing it, not adding a single fucking thing to it, and then just pasting it back together. That's all he was fucking doing, and he was getting laughs. Like this whole fucking.
I remember that.
His whole group in the front were cracking the.
It was
fuck up.
his girlfriend, his mom, his girlfriend's parents were there, dude.
Yeah, dude, they were cracking the fuck up, and I'm sitting there, and I'm just like it was again. This was maybe when I was like just starting off, so it was like I hadn't done you
were new to me.
I hadn't done a showcase to it, a showcase yet, but I was hitting those open mics pretty religiously. So this guy, I'm turning around, I'm like, "Yo, is this like normal?" Because I was just
Is this happening right
I was like, no, I was like, is this allowed? Like, because I was like, I feel dirty right now, man. Like, I don't know what the fuck to do. And I remember
like someone has their hand up my ass.
George comes up, and then he just like looks at me, and then he had I was looking at George, and George is like, "Fuck, man." And I was like, "Oh, I should be pissed then, because I am fucking pissed, dude."
Yeah.
And then
You didn't know how it worked yet.
I didn't know how it worked, so I was like, "Somebody tell me how to feel, right?" And then Fred's like, "Yo, real quick, Steve, let me get up there for a minute. I'm gonna sun this dude." Like, it's like fucking like just. And then I was just I was like, "Yeah, dude, fucking tell him something." And then everybody was like for it. Like, I'm just let
Did
me
Steve
get
let
up.
him up there? I
Dude,
don't remember.
no,
Fred roast is fucking brutal.
Fred was like,
can go
"Real
off.
quick, dude, let me get up there for 3 minutes. I'm gonna tear him a new asshole, bro. Just 3 minutes, 2 fucking minutes, dude. I'm gonna make him and his whole fucking. I'm gonna kick his fucking ass on stage, dude."
Yeah.
And then George was like, No.
Come on, guys.
No. He was like, "Come down."
Are these towels
Look,
decorative?
guys. Yeah. He was like,
Oh
"Look,
my god.
I love
we
you, George.
can't for the good of the venue.
Yeah.
we can't do that. We're already kind of short on time.
Yeah.
it would make more sense that you just address it like personally or whatever."
George
after,
is wise.
And I was like, yeah, all right, cool. So the mic ended, and the usual thing after the mic was karaoke, and everybody would go to the back, and we'd have like cigarettes.
I was
and
right
drink,
there,
whatever.
bro.
So then he tells me, "Yo, Raj."
Oh, this is at the old cold brew.
Old,
The old cold
okay,
brew.
okay, the old brew, yeah. So he's like, "Hey, Raj, go get that kid real quick," and he had some words with him, and I was like, "Bet." And I walk over, and I'm like, "Hey, man, we got to talk to you real quick."
Hey, ass Roger, like, hey, man.
And and the dude gets up and he's like, "Yeah, all right, cool." And I think he went with the fucking
Intention. I remember I saw his face.
His
I'm
face
about to
was
get
like-
these props,
like,
homie.
yeah, that he was going there with like the idea, like, "Yo, I just fucking killed. These guys are gonna give me some fucking props." We get there, and then Fred, because Fred was still fucking fat at that point, right?
Yeah.
He was just like, "Man,
Wait, he was fatter?
he was fatter.
Yeah,
dude. It
Fred
like-
was
Fred
is
has
skinny right
lost
now.
a significant amount of weight.
He has
as of
a
late.
lot,
So,
dude.
Oh, man.
So he was like, Fred's like, "Man, let me tell you something. If it wasn't for these guys right here, man, like I would have kicked your ass a long fucking time ago. Honestly,
Yeah.
you going up there, what you just did right there, mad disrespectful, dog.
You know how he's
Mad
black?
disrespectful.
You know how he thought like he's black?
Yeah, he's like mad disrespectful. Yo, I don't know how you run shit, but you going up there and getting laughs off of somebody else's material, bro? Nah, dude, we don't run that shit right now.
And then,
No.
and
Matter
then
of fact, get on your knees, homie.
And he was like,
and his bitch was behind him.
yeah,
I remember,
and then
dude.
he was just dude, and the kid fucking recoiled, bro. He was just kind of
You
like,
say his chest started
Like, yeah, he was just
coming.
kinda
I
like-
It was like
started.
one of those lobsters.
I started reaching like fucking his body language. Is like he just got small. And I was like, "Yee, pobrecito."
yeah, dude. And so we were just kind of like, we were like, shit, man. And I was actually feeling kind of bad because it turned into a fucking like a burning at the stake, dude. Because then all of these other comedians came up, and it was like George and Steve and Sarah, and I don't know who it was, the rest of the Radio Funny crew. They were like, "Yeah, don't ever fucking do that shit again. You just went up there. Roger's been working mad fucking hard on his shit, mad hard, and he's been doing this thing for about 6 months now, coming back to back to back. And you're telling me you're gonna get up there and get laughs off of his stuff, off of his hard work? Where are your 6 months, motherfucker?"
And your mama a hoe. In the background and shit.
And then so
Damn, that's
and
funny
so
as fuck.
It was funny because like Justin just put like, "You come on the day of my daughter," literally like that, dude. Like it was fucking crazy. And so
Who's Justin White? I had that guy on Facebook, but I don't know who
his,
it is.
fucking the lead
Justin
singer
White, bro.
of Dos Leones, bro.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, right on, dude. I'm a fan of your. I've seen him perform.
Yeah.
I performed at a Galleria 201 because Kevin had a open mind organization from
The normal
TAMU.
one or what? Or which one?
The Galleria 201. They had a
Oh, yeah,
concert
yeah,
there
yeah.
about marijuana.
Normal. You were talking about
Yeah,
normal.
Normal,
normal.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I
for
performed
the-
with the band I was with, and
Really?
yeah, Those Leones was like the headlining, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I have
yeah.
pictures of that actually.
Yeah, I actually have a picture of it too.
That's where I met Kiana.
That night.
Yeah, well, I met
Oh.
her. I saw her for the first time, but I didn't.
I remember I would see Roger around shows and I was like, what a pretentious asshole.
Fuck off.
Oh,
Why?
Roger. Yeah, I just want to punch you in the face, bro.
Why?
Just as you had your camera and you were
Just
like,
your face,
with
dude.
that
Really? Just
smug
my face?
fucking
Yeah.
face.
That's it.
What's wrong with my face?
You were just there like, I'm gonna pretend like I don't like this
Hey.
music, but I do.
Hey, Josh, real quick. Did you try to date my sister?
Nah, I didn't try to date your sister.
What?
We know
But
each
you were
other.
that guy, right?
No,
You were that
that's
guy
my
at the
homie.
Boogaloo.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was
yeah.
smoking weed outside, and you
Yeah.
mentioned, "Oh, we smoke weed."
Yeah.
I remember I ignored you.
Wait, hold on. Who? What? Who's your sister?
I went to school with her at TAMU.
What's her name?
Martha. Valdez.
Yeah, Martha.
Never mind.
So, I remember.
She actually dated my homie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, so anyway.
No, I thought it was you that wanted to date her. But she told me, you know, Josh, he runs a podcast. That's how I knew of you first.
Right.
That's how I first heard of Aliens on the Border.
Really?
Through my sister.
Interesting.
Yeah. I was like, you little hoe. You hanging out with guys that are cooler than me? Yeah.
Nah,
You hanging out
I'm
with the
not
guy
cool.
that has a podcast? You
So then that happened. That was the way they addressed it. The kid never came back to an open mic.
He didn't.
ever again.
Damn.
Ever again.
Good.
And I
Fuck
almost
that
felt
kid.
real guilty about it because it's like, dude, the guy probably didn't know. I didn't know what to fucking feel about it. I can't imagine it was, so they addressed it that way. This other dude, like, no remorse, like zero remorse. He was just kind of like, fuck it, like whatever, right? So it got to the point.
Parallel thinking, you know.
It got to the point, me and the guy that I run the open mic with, Francisco, we were there, we were chilling and writing down all the stuff that we needed to do for the mic that we were doing last Thursday. And the guys who run Laredo Funny, which they do local showcases here, right? With the open mics that you fucking stole that. I'm just fucking
Yes,
right
that's cool.
no, okay. He's like, no, I totally did. Like, it's okay.
No,
So
it's just parallel thinking. Dude.
so when we got there and we they showed up and they go, it was George. He goes, "Hey guys, just so you guys know, I wanted to address something really quickly with this person."
It's a horrible George
And
imitation.
yeah, I can't do a good George impression. I can't do it. Anyway, so he goes, "Hey guys." Hey guys,
That's horrible too.
That he was, dude.
so he goes, hey, so we're gonna talk. We're gonna talk to this guy. I just need you guys to be there as witnesses, so it just doesn't come off as like super impartial or whatever, right? And that's that. I was like, yeah, bet. Like they're probably just gonna give him like a slap on the wrist. He was like, we're not gonna talk about the joke stealing because you guys, as we've heard, you've already addressed that, and that's good. And I'm glad that he's decided to change or whatever for the better and this and that. So we don't want to discourage him from the scene, but we do have none of this other dude that was. So he was like.
He's already cutting his wrist down, man.
So he's like, we're gonna go outside and we're gonna talk
I'm
to
a
him
chemist.
real quick. If that's all right, will you guys join us? And we're like, yeah, sure, dude. So we went to the back balcony area, and the guy in question is outside, sitting down,
The guy in question.
just chilling, having a cigarette, writing what I assume were new jokes, and this guy is just like the George just addresses him and goes, "Hey man, just so you know, we came to this decision together as a group, and as Laredo Funny does operate themselves as a business, and we need to have our reputation for not only ourselves and the scene of the Laredo comedy, it make more sense for us to address this." We understand that you're working really hard to get your new material, or that you've completely thrown out the things that you're working on, but we will have to ban you from showcases for a year.
A year away.
A year. So I was like, "Hold, what the fuck?" Like, I was just like, "Holy shit!" And they were like, "Yeah, like we cannot, in good faith or good conscience or whatever, put you on a showcase it's too risky because we book out of town acts and our reputation is based on how they perceive us, and if they see that we book somebody who's using stolen material and getting paid for it on a showcase, we can't have that." And I was like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But also it was like his first instance of like that knowingly happening, and like a year seems too fucking long, honestly.
It does.
We talked about maybe like what if it was like 6 months. I did whatever I could to rally, but then the worst part was like you dig the hole even further because he just goes like, "Well, man, I was working on stuff. I didn't copy anything. Like it was just like I was working on stuff, and whatever it was that maybe seemed similar, I took it out of my set, and then that was that." And I was like, well, what the fuck? Like I'm here sticking my neck out for you, bro, and like you're still here denying it. Like it wasn't like that. So I don't know. It was just interesting to see that stuff.
You just
go
gotta
down.
fess up to it.
Yeah, well, yeah,
It's just
yeah.
always best to really look. I just want to say it. Like what I did at my first open mic was wrong. What I did at the show where Fred called me out was wrong, and Fred had Steve. I'm sorry. So where Steve called me out was wrong, and Steve had a point to. Steve was in his right to call me out for that, and what I did afterwards on Facebook was pussy shit. So look, I'm just I realized what I did wrong, and I just learned from these experiences that don't mention narcotics material in your set, no matter what. And
I mean, it's cool to
steal jokes.
it's cool if you like
there.
if you reference something lightly, but if you straight up just like rip
Oh,
on
dude,
the whole
Roger
thing-
said this. Check it out.
Yeah, I think what's it called? What was I gonna say? Oh, real quick side
I'm just
note:
not gonna, yeah.
have you guys ever watched Silicon Valley, the show?
I haven't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
not all of it, but I'm like on season 4. Or
Okay,
something
you
like
know who this guy reminds me of? Come on,
that. Fucking the main.
no, big head.
Oh, okay,
yeah. You,
Right,
like,
yeah.
but you have a very similar
Voice?
voice.
Yeah,
It's him. Yeah, so he's like.
I love Isaac.
Yeah, you're cool,
he's
dude.
talking so much shit about him right now.
I'm not
just so you
talking
know.
shit.
No, he's
dude.
not.
Come on.
Calling him big head, dude.
I don't know who that guy is.
I don't know.
If you knew, dude.
I'd get pissed.
Justin says, "Well, this came full circle. Jordan Peterson take responsibility."
There you have it. Yeah.
Who? Nah.
I would actually like this, like the whole the comedy talk. I feel like we haven't had it in a long time, but it's been fun.
Jordan Peterson. What does that mean?
Jordan Peterson, the guy that
The-
wrote
yeah.
12.
No, I know who he is, but what are you?
Oh, this is
Does this come full circle?
I guess because you're
'Cause we
being
were talking about Jordan
you're
Peterson
taking
earlier.
personal responsibility for your
You're taking
errors,
responsibility.
your
Oh.
actions.
Yeah, do your bed. Stand up with your
Oh.
back, with
My
your
bed
shoulders
is not
back.
made. Do you do your bed?
Yeah. If not, I make my girlfriend do it
Oh, okay. I
because
don't
she's
do
a
it.
woman.
After she makes me some breakfast.
Yeah.
Right.
No, actually, I'm the one that cooks
Oh, okay.
because I cook much better than her.
Same, bro.
Yeah.
You
I think
what?
I cook much better than her. I think it's because of
Oh.
all the marijuana I smoked, and I always just wanted to munch really well. So I
Damn,
went.
dude, they're fucking up with Franny. Why are you just icing Franny right now,
Who
dude?
said that?
He puts Francisco Flores sounds like Sid from Ice Age. That's not
Guys.
that's the guy that I run the open mic with. Is
Oh,
named
God.
Francisco Flores.
Was that Justin?
That was Justin.
Dude.
It's fucking funny.
Yo, that's crazy.
That's
as
fucking
fuck.
hilarious.
That is
funny.
that's
hilarious.
fucking horrible. You're a terrible.
He sounds like.
Oh, you know
Sid.
what? You want to get a little philosophical with it? We were talking about it the other day. How I think it's like really interesting that we've evolved to have a physiological response to absurdity, and that whole thing about like brains basically being like pattern matching machines. I've always really liked that about
Being
comedy.
what?
Pattern matching machines.
Oh, pattern matching machines.
Yeah.
Well, we are. We're pattern-seeking mammals.
Yeah, and that is. How do you feel about that, Isaac? Do you understand?
I think it's correct. I mean, we see it in our everyday life. I mean, have you ever had to memorize a number that was
Several fucking
yeah,
times, bro.
you break it up, right? You get like an access code to reset your password, and it's like 9 digits, so you break it up into like threes, right? Like 3, 6, 8, 1.
What the fuck are you talking about, dog?
Just
Nah.
in general,
we like
man.
patterns, and
bro.
patterns seem to help us out in every single part of our life. Even in music, as far as back as you go, it's all based on us trying to find patterns in our everyday.
The best sounding
life.
patterns
So
make the best songs.
Yeah,
the
sure.
idea behind the whole thing about like having the response to absurdity was, as far as like I've thought about it, was like the when you find something that's like, let's say a joke, right? It has a you kind of assume the logical like response to whatever the joke's going to be at the end, and then when there's like a break in that pattern, you
Yeah.
laugh, you have a reaction to it because your brain's registering that break to remember it for a future one. When I was talking about this, my favorite joke, or one of my favorite jokes, is a really fucking stupid joke. It's so stupid, but I enjoy the shit out of it just because of that. And the first time that I read it, I just, I'll never laugh at it, a second time like that, But it goes, it goes, why does a chicken coop only have 2 doors?
Why?
Because if it had 4, it'd be a chicken sedan.
Stupid as fuck.
It's so fucking dumb. But I laughed so hard about it like, the first time that I saw it. And I was thinking, like, why the fuck? And my girlfriend calls me out on it constantly. She's like, you laugh at the stupidest fucking things. And it was like, yeah, it's true. The other day I was watching, what's it called? Rick Astley, that thing. There were no strangers to love, right?
I don't know.
That's what it's called? Rick, yeah, come on. Dude.
Oh, the
Like,
Never
you ever
Give
been
Give
Rickrolled?
you,
Okay,
yeah, Rick
right.
yeah.
Roll.
Okay, no.
All right, so I was watching that, and but it was like out of tune or out of pitch or something like that. So it was just like on small little areas, just like we're no stranger to love. I started cracking
Oh,
the fuck up,
okay.
dude.
I know what you're talking
So
about.
it was,
They're gonna give you up, never gonna let you
Yeah,
down.
that one.
All right. No, I know.
so yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
And that's the end of your philosophical thought. Thank you for.
Oh, okay. Well, fuck, man. Sorry, shit.
That's right.
I'm just playing, man. I don't know. I don't know where to take it from here, man. The moment has passed me by.
The moment has passed me by. As he always does. As he always does.
All right.
What are we rapping?
I don't know.
I'm ready to rap. Y'all want to rap? We've been at it for about what, 2.5?
Do you need to-
Hey, just everyone, be yourselves and
Yeah.
love yourself.
Follow our stuff.
We'll probably be doing a little more of these things whenever we get the chance to. Are
Yeah.
you like in town now, or are you?
No,
just,
I live in Edinburgh.
Valley.
I
Oh,
live
okay,
in
cool.
Edinburgh, Macon, yeah.
Cool.
We should have him back on.
Yeah, no, definitely. It
But
was
I
fun. It
can
was fun
make
talking.
time to come a weekend just to visit my family.
You should
and
try
Mario
coming
as
back
well.
to the open
The-
mic.
yeah?
Man. Try coming back to the comedy scene. Maybe
Dude.
grace us at a mic drop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's never
look it
performed the
up.
mic drop.
Yeah, yeah. Cool.
Great. Yeah, I'll already I'll schedule something with Mario.
Cool.
How long has the Mac drop been running now?
Our
year-
anniversary's in May. May 3rd was the first time that we had a mic drop, and then it had I think it was like a 3-week break, and then we started each time.
Yeah, I remember when it was like about to be a thing.
Yeah.
I recall.
Yeah, so I think we announced it like early March or late March or something like that. We didn't have any. We didn't have anything April. The first week of May was when it launched, and then we had a 3-week break, and then after that it was every single week.
I wish we had like a couple more open mics, honestly.
I'm working on that.
Working on that. Yeah.
I'm working on that.
Can we talk about it? Let's talk about that. Can we talk about that before we wrap up?
So
Yeah, sure.
Instead of rapping?
yeah, I'm working on that with Los Olvidados, which
Okay.
I mentioned at the very beginning of the podcast.
The Forgotten.
Yeah, the Forgotten Ones. It's a coffee / shop. You can buy pipes for your stuff.
They got badass thrift shit too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
Like-
Screaming Flower sells
Yeah, I
their
love it.
stuff there. We have local artist Diego. What's his artist name?
Ozotso?
Osotso.
Ozotso.
Ozotso.
Yeah, he's been
And
on
then
here
we have
before.
Ghost. He has some
Mhm.
stuff there.
Gixt.
Yeah, we have
Shelly is also an artist who's displayed
Yeah.
stuff there.
DJs. We have very
Oh, yeah.
very good DJs that play music there. We've had one kind of comedy showcase.
That's right. Yeah. I remember that. My first headlining gig, dude.
Yeah.
I didn't even count it as that, but it was like, yeah. It was,
But I'm trying to do it every Tuesdays, if not every other Tuesday.
Let's do it every Tuesday, dude. I want to have
And
some more, you know?
I want it to be a more. I feel like at the mic drop gets such a good audience that I have to be funny and I can't work out some stupid material like I try to do on
that's
Thursday.
the bad way to approach. I still bomb at mic drops, even though it's
Yeah.
my own fucking.
I
thing.
only
It's like-
just this last Thursday was the only
dude,
good
Josh
set I
had
had.
a really fucking
did.
good
That's
set.
the only
this
good set I've
last
ever
time.
had
Yeah.
ever.
You did. I
Yeah,
like it
it
a
was
lot.
the first time that he had like a really good set. That joke about there's a right time and place for everything was fucking great when
That
you did
was
that
good.
whole thing. Like
I
Peanut butter.
literally just
Peanut
riffed
butter?
it like
Yeah, no,
the
you
first
need to-
time, and
you
then the
need to do
second
that,
time was like,
so it was funny because you had a callback. So you started off with the dog or whatever, and because there's a right time and place for everything. Peanut butter.
Yeah.
Like, that was pretty funny. So any announcement? Oh, okay. So
So yeah, I'm trying to do the mic drop. I mean, the mic drop. I'm trying to do an open mic there at Los Olvidados.
what would you call it?
Just Tuesday night mics. Just keep it simple.
Tuesdays.
Tuesdays.
dude, yeah, you need to switch it up.
The
There's already
Forgotten
been-
Ones open mic.
That's good. Yeah. The forgotten ones. That's funny.
The Forgotten
That's
Ones
cool.
open mics.
The real
I'm
ones.
down for the Forgotten Ones.
The
That's a
for-
cool name.
Yeah.
The real
there
ones
it
open
is.
mic.
Nah.
Yeah.
That's the showcase name.
Yeah.
Oh, that is the showcase name. That's Aaron's, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, Aaron.
I
No,
hosted that one.
that's when we all fucking perform like,
Together.
yeah. So
I hosted
assume-
that one.
Maybe kick
Yeah.
Perlata out of that and get me in there.
What was I gonna say? Announcements. 4DF next Fourth Dimension Fridays.
It's 2 weeks from now.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks from now, right?
It's on February 7th.
February
The event's
7th.
already up on Facebook. We're about to like start putting out like the flyer, courtesy of Kevin, Loredo.
If you haven't been to a Fourth Dimension Friday yet, go. They're a lot of fun.
You were on the panel last
you
time.
were on
with
the
the
panel
fun-
last
Yeah.
time,
Did
yeah.
you have fun?
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah.
It was a little unprepared, a little shaky.
It was
that last
chaotic.
one, so
It was
It
good.
was a little chaotic, but it was a good experience for me.
Dude, I wish it would have been at the first one. The first one was amazing.
Really?
The very first one.
The JFK one.
The JFK one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was great.
My favorite one was the Dead Celebrities one. That one was
The-
fucking funny.
I don't even remember.
Oh, if
That
I could
was-
just put in a real quick.
Oh yeah.
What are they called?
Suggestion?
Plug.
A plug.
Oh,
it
yeah,
in.
plug.
It's my grandmother's flower shop. Valentine's is coming around the corner, and Narvaez Flower Shop has been open for about 27 years. It's probably one of the oldest self-propried flower shops in Laredo. I think is the oldest because I think the one that's older than it belongs to 1-800-Flowers now. So it's a corporate
Oof.
flower shop. Don't go with them. Narvaez Flower Shop on it's my grandma's shop. She's been there for a long time. And so Valentine's is coming up. Buy your significant others or your Sanchas flowers there.
Or your homies.
Or your homies. If you love your homie, get them a bear or something. That'd be
Yeah.
Narvaez Flower Shop. That's I forgot the address, but it's on San Bernardo. Just look it up, Narvaez Flower and Gift Shop. Also, Frarajo Muay Thai. Anyone here wanna join or wanna experience some?
Want to get kicked in the legs by this guy?
You wanna get kicked in the fucking groin?
Yeah.
Want me to bite your balls?
That's private lessons.
I don't know. Those are the private lessons, dog. Now go by Fraraku Muay Thai. That's on Chaparral Road. Look it up.
Yeah,
it's
it's,
spelled PHRU RAHU Fraraku Muay Thai. Or if you want to try out Jiu-Jitsu, there's
It's
Cadejo Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well.
Yeah. That's where I tried my famous 1 week of jiu-jitsu, dude.
Badass.
I fucking loved it so much, but like I was like, it's expensive for me. I
Mhm.
can't pay for it. Bye.
Anything you want to plug, dude?
If you would like to buy Rage Grade chemicals, visit Bob Lazar's website,
Bob Laser.
unitednuclear.com. You can buy shit you shouldn't be able to buy, but you can. So
You want to manufacture some
Fuck it, man.
LSD 45? Hook the
Yeah.
player up.
Hey, we got 4 AOC DMT on deck.
for ACO.
4 ACO DMT on deck. I'm kidding.
Cigarettes,
We don't.
Every Thursday the mic drop. We don't have anybody to play next Thursday yet, so if
We're gonna
anybody
play a
wants to,
playlist.
if you want to, yeah, I'm honestly just thinking about doing like I'm gonna fucking set up to do like this is a playlist I
Have
made
you,
when I was
have
like
you
16
ever
years
reached
old.
out to this fucking asshole? What's his name? This is too difficult.
No.
Rafa.
Oh, dude, I love that guy.
No.
Or I love that.
Okay.
It's great.
All right. Now I got your vibe.
Yeah.
I caught your vibe. All right.
What's it called? Yeah, so we don't have anybody to play this next Thursday. If you'd like to, the thing from 9 to 10. From 10 on after that, it's the comedy. So yeah, that's that. That's every Thursday.
That's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
And I don't have a song to take us out today, so goodbye.
If you can't tell by the way I feel my clothes,